Thanks everyone for joining us today. Today we're going to walk through the Quest Emerging Leaders Program. This is an announcement that was made at Blueprint 4D regarding Quest's initiative to help our member companies, Oracle users, develop their high potential emerging leaders so that you are prepared for the future, that you're future ready, but also developing those leaders to help you get there. So with that, today we're going to turn things over to Ken Pittington. Ken is of course, he'll introduce himself in more detail, but he is the CIO at US Silica. He is also on the Quest Board of Directors, and he is the lead instructor for this program. So Ken, I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right. Thank you, John. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Really glad you came here to learn more about Quest's Emerging Leader Program. As John said, I'm Ken Pittington. I'm the Vice President and CIO at US Silica, and I am also a board member for the Quest Oracle community. This program has been something that John and I have been working on, and as well as our whole advisory board, is really the next step or next level of value that the Quest can provide for its community. So I'm really excited to share with you the details today and go through what the program comprises, and hopefully you'll see the excitement we have with this program and the value we believe it can bring to our community. So John, let's jump into it. Make our major announcement. As we talk about this at Blueprint, but with Quest Emerging Leader Program, it is a premier multidimensional program really designed to equip those high potential and emerging leaders to lead in a more strategic way, help organizations really partner better, and lead those teams and companies into the future. We expect it to strengthen people's leadership skills, develop and leverage those strategic relationships, and really maximize the impact of your company's technology investments for future success. We've talked a lot throughout this about being future ready, and we know so many things are changing in our organizations, in our ecosystems we all operate in, whatever, regardless of your industry. And in order to really be able to survive and thrive in that, we believe that developing of our leaders throughout the organization is critically important. And with our community here, we think this is a great offering and opportunity for our membership. So I'm really excited about the program. We click on to the next slide. So what is this? It's an in-depth 9-month program. It's really a journey. We're targeting 15 to 20 people within a class or cohort that they can grow together in working through in-person and virtual workshops, instructor-led learning by myself, and as well as other industry and community experts. Targeted and facilitated organic networking within our Oracle community, within our Quest community, as well as one-on-one mentoring. And I think that's really important, that there's so many unique aspects to the program that really will help each individual's learning. As I've been involved in so many of these different types of education programs, development programs throughout my career, whether I've been in them myself or I've helped support or and coached and been a mentor or put some members of my team in, that you don't see one that has so many of these components all put together for the benefit of the attendees. John, next slide. So who should participate? It's really about those high potential individuals in your organization. This could be you as a department head or manager and going, I have a really high potential employee that I want to put in there. This could be you going, hey, I really need to ask my direct supervisor to put me in the program. I think I would benefit from something like this. So it's members of our community, folks who are really using the Oracle ERP products, individuals who demonstrate that leadership quality and that they would like to develop and refine as they prepare to take on the next level of management and that kind of career journey. It's for individuals kind of in the middle phase of their leadership career, minimum 3 to 5 years of experience in that management role or above. And it's individuals who are prepared to invest in developing and realize that there's a growth opportunity and want to help build out a personal development plan. How do I help get myself to the next level? What skills do I need to refine, and have a game plan to do that? Not just what we figured out on our own, but to leverage people with lots of other experiences, lots of other industries, and levels within their career that they can help you. And that's really what's going to go on here in this program. So some might say it's open, it's really everybody should participate, but I think if those who are ready to take that next step, those who have some of that management experience within our community, are really the right folks to do this. And they could be technology leaders. They could be in HR, they could be in accounting, finance, wherever. We want to really have a great diverse group. And I think that's going to add some unique value to the program by being able to have folks within our entire community participate, not just within a single segment, where many of these programs I've done before have been very technology focused. We want to have this to be a very diverse group. And next slide. So here's about the program overview. We talked about the workshops, mentoring, instructor-led learning, and building that network, those connections. We will sit and work as a leadership group to discuss leadership and business acumen, and how do you talk about communication and client understanding. We'll develop strategic focus. We'll do those some of those will be virtual. We'll have every member will have or every participant will have a mentor. You'll work closely with that mentor. We'll do our best to match those mentors up to you based on your specific needs and requests, and they'll work with you around fine-tuning some of those core competencies, which we'll talk about for each individual. Where the workshops, we're learning and working as a group in a more general way around those topics, and then working with your mentor one-on-one will continue to fine-tune and help you build out that development plan that's there specifically to meet your needs. And it's instructor-led learning. We will have many industry experts participating, sharing their insight and guidance. As John said, I'll be the lead instructor, but we're going to leverage our network, our community of people to help provide great insights, ideas, different ways of thinking about things, or maybe sometimes it's just validation of the way you've already been thinking about a particular challenge or initiative, how you show up to a particular meeting, how you communicate and collaborate, for example. And a big part of strengthening your leadership skills is those connections or networking. And through that, you'll help facilitate the connections within the folks with the cohort. There'll be some capstone projects. You'll be breaking out into the groups there to work on that. Other leaders within the Quest community, as well as Oracle leaders and other vendor members that participate within our community, will have opportunities to interact. So I think as you will strengthen that network at many different levels with the program, which is key to an individual's career growth as well. So I'm really excited about these kind of 4 big buckets of learning and how we will interact within the program. The next slide. So what's the benefit? I think to master the core competencies for effective technology leaders, you're going to learn how to think and respond as a leader to deepen your business impact. Understand how to create, manage, and prepare teams for digital transformation. I think that phrase we hear constantly, and we need to understand what that means for our organization and how we can add value and how we can better position ourselves for the success of our organization. You'll develop Oracle-specific insights and relationships to help you in your organization through this shifting era of digital transformation. You'll identify your personal growth areas and develop a plan to address them. That's part of what you'll work on with your mentor one-on-one. Building out a plan, an action plan. What are my goals? What am I trying to achieve? What steps do I need to take to achieve them? And how will I measure success? And I'm really big on people coming out of these programs with a reasonable and truly actionable development plan. Sometimes we get a little crazy and put lots of things on and can't measure them. They have big, long time frames. We're going to focus on very specific tasks, specific goals with reasonable actions in a time frame that is easily achievable, so that we keep the motivation and you can see the wins and the improvement. One of the great things about the program and the items we're talking about, it's 9 months. So we don't have to wait till the end of 9 months to suddenly be able to use what we're learning. Things that we're going to be learning and talking about, you'll be able to use immediately, the very next day, back in your day-to-day work at your organizations. And we're going to work to improve everyone's executive presence and develop your personal leadership style. You probably already have it. You probably could think about what that means, but how do we continue to refine and let you show up the best way that you can be as a leader within your organization? So I think a lot of great benefits here. We mentioned the core competencies. So these are the 15 core competencies that we're going to be focused on throughout the program. There are session workshops that'll be about specifics. Some of them blend together, but they build upon each other. They're intertwined. So we talk about agility and digital acumen and organizational understanding, or leadership and problem solving, communication, collaboration as examples. I think leading change and that strategic focus are critical, particularly for folks who may have grown up through the ranks and been more individual doers, and they're newer to management, newer to thinking of themselves as a leader, and that need to show up in a different way is there, and this is part of that in some of those categories there. So a lot of really great competencies that we'll focus on. It's going to be a lot jammed into that 9 months. It sounds like a long time, but it's going to be a good lift of work, but I think manageable with our day-to-day jobs as well. Okay, next slide. So we mentioned multidimensional earlier, and I love the way we put this slide together, kind of showing the interaction or interconnection between the four different areas as to how we're going to learn. So we'll be doing workshops, and we think about the workshops. We're going to start with something called laying the leadership foundation. This will be in person, and we'll get a little bit to that schedule in a moment. But this is where we set the foundation for all of the programs, everything that we're developing. This is about organizational understanding, for example, and how do we get ready? Is understanding our leadership style, that basic beginnings, that foundation or groundwork. We'll have those, as I said, instructor-led, developing skills around our leadership core competencies, those 15 we saw earlier. You'll engage in peer-based discussions with the facilitator and feedback. Like I said, we'll be bringing a lot of different industry experts in here to help with that. So it's not just, you're getting bored with me. We're going to bring a lot of other folks in with different experiences, which I think helps with everyone's learning and their growth. We have the connections, which is the networking. This is, again, developing meaningful and productive relationships with your cross-industry peers, establishing relationship with Oracle product executives and other industry leaders, and really giving you the ability to refine your executive presence and personal brand. And then one-on-one mentoring. And, I may have to argue that this might be the most important part of the program. That ability to sit down one-on-one with someone who's maybe got a little less hair, a little bit more gray hair, and has some experiences that you don't have, that can listen, hear what you're trying to do, give you some real world advice and feedback, be able to help you check that ego at the door, and recognize where those opportunities are to strengthen these different skill sets and help you build that individual plan, I think is critically important. As I think back on my own career and the great mentors I had, whether they were formal and official in a program like this, or they were someone maybe a little more informal, their impact on my career was huge, and I don't think I would be where I am today without having those mentors. So you can never underestimate the value of what this mentorship can mean. So I'm really excited that we're able to incorporate that into this program. We're going to share a little bit about who the mentors are that we already have lined up for the program, and you're going to see some very talented people as part of that program that have a lot of great experience. I think will do a wonderful job serving as mentors for the participants in this cohort. Right. Next slide, John. So what's the program calendar look like? We've talked about these 9 months. Excuse me. We'll kick off in September with the official program kickoff. This will be virtual. This will be a participant orientation to what the program is going to look like, how it's going to function, setting expectations of your participation month in and month out. This is where we'll talk a little bit about the capstone projects. We'll start talking about your interest for mentoring. Will all happen here. Prior to this, you will be asked to do a self-assessment around these core competencies and fill out a assessment questionnaire about skills, things you want in a mentor, and areas of focus that you really are are most important to you and where you are in your role right now. Then we'll move into October, and this is probably for me one of the best parts of these different sessions that will happen in our calendar, because we're going to bring everybody together in person. We're going to go to Lexington, Kentucky, the headquarters of Quest, for a 2-day leadership summit. This again is where we're going to be going over that kind of laying of the foundation, defining leadership, organizational understanding, talk about business acumen and client orientation. Again, that foundation. It'll be great team building. It is where you'll start to work on those capstone projects. It's part of the networking as everyone is getting to meet each other, be in person, and get the ball really rolling for the program. And I think that in-person opportunity here will help make the virtual ones that much more powerful and impactful, because you'll all know each other. Everyone in the cohort will have had that opportunity to connect. So when we're on those virtual sessions, the ability to communicate and is, I think, is easier, because we've already have a relationship, as opposed to all I know you is in that little window that we're looking at each other in right now. Once we've had that time to be in person, I think it's going to be much more impactful for the rest of the session. So I'm excited again for October. You haven't guessed, I'm excited for the whole program, but each of these parts, I really think is going to be extremely powerful for the program, particularly this session in October. So as we go through in the months of November, January, March, and May, course of the month, we'll be doing spread out different things each week. We'll have industry connection and introductions and networking. The one-on-one mentor sessions will occur during those months. You'll be working with your capstone team and checking in on that related to whatever your particular capstone project is. We'll be doing some book reading, and this is when we'll do the book discussions. When we get into December, February, and April, this is where we have more of the workshops. We'll meet virtually, talk about those core leadership competencies. There'll be different video things. There'll be some readings. There'll be some discussion boards. There'll be maybe a fireside chat or a panel and guest speakers. At the end of the month, we'll have a virtual workshop to really wrap up the topic, bring it home and everything that you've been learning about throughout the month. And then in June at Blueprint 4D in Las Vegas, we will have our graduation. So that's where the program will wrap up. We'll unveil the capstone projects and have those presentations, and we will celebrate all of your hard work going through this cohort and graduate in front of our attendees at Blueprint. So I'm really excited. Always found that graduation component adds an extra kind of extra piece of icing on the cake, if you will, for that program. We've done all that hard work, but it's great to be recognized in front of your peers and have others go, wow, I wish I did that. Maybe I should do that in the next cohort. And then you get to be seen differently within the community. You've gone through that program seen differently in a very positive way. And I think gets others excited, and you become an ambassador for the program as we continue to grow it for the community. So I think it's if you think about it as the Quest community, being a part of a cohort here and through that development program just adds we'll get one more ribbon on our badges at the event as well, that you've been a participant, or maybe a pin or something like that will go along to help distinguish that you were a participant of the Emerging Leaders Program. But it's a packed calendar, but I think we've done the scheduling of things in here in order to understand your commitments, obviously, to your day job, but your commitments to yourself and your organization's commitment to you to develop you as a leader, so that we can have that right balance. I think everything is manageable with a couple hours here and there throughout each week to get everything done. The biggest undertaking will be on October, with a couple of days in person in Lexington, where we'll be, for those days, we'll be fully dedicated into the program. Where the things that go on in the other months, you'll have a little work effort each and every week, but you are not 100% dedicated like you will be at that 2-day summit that we'll do to kick things off in October. We move on from here, from the calendar. So key dates to know: we have our early bird registration deadline is the end of June. So if you want a discount, hurry up and get those registration applications in. We'll shut down the applications by July 31st or on July 31st. Make the final announcements for program participants. We'll get those assessments out to everyone. And in September, on September 25th, we'll have that online orientation. This is that setting of the expectations, getting you ready for the program, understanding what it's going to be like as a participant. October 18th and 19th is the Leadership Summit in Lexington. And then in December, February, April, we have different virtual workshops. And then in June of 2025, the Executive Forum and graduation in Las Vegas. So kind of gives you a good idea of what's to come. From a program facilitator, as John said earlier, I will be our lead instructor for the program. John is the CEO for Quest, will help program facilitate and be a big participant within the program, what we're doing to develop everything. And then we'll be, like we said, we'll bring in mentors and other industry experts. So as you can see here from this slide, a number of industry leaders who have worked in and around our community, some board members, some former board members, some other professional coaches. They will all serve as mentors in the program. So when you fill out your assessment, your questionnaire, you'll answer some questions about what does that look like for you as an ideal mentor, and we will do the best job we can to find one of the mentors here to match you up with. I think if we go into the next slide, we have a couple more mentors as well that will participate, and then we'll interact with Oracle as with the Quest Oracle community, working on cloud strategy development, JD Edwards, PeopleSoft, and all. And then we'll be bringing industry experts in. So the folks that you see down here have all been guest speakers and worked with Quest in the past. So some of these and others will be participating in the program. So really, I think a really great group of people who will be able to share their experiences, both the mentors and these different industry experts, for all to learn from. And I think for myself, even as the program lead, one of the things I love about getting engaged with these programs is I learn something too. It doesn't matter how long I've been doing this in my career. Every time I get involved in a new program, there's always something to learn. You meet new people, different industries. I think it's part of our continuous learning journey. So that's always a kind of an added benefit, I think, with programs like this. All right, John, our next slide. So from here, I'm going to turn it over to John and let him talk a little bit more about Quest and some of the things that will happen with the program.
Yeah, thanks, Ken. So as we think about this program, in some ways we've said, hey, this is a major announcement, it's a new program, but the reality is this program is us taking many pieces that we've been delivering over the course of a number of years and formalizing some of those processes into a single process so that we can then offer it to our members within the community. And part of the reason we're doing this is, the Quest Board of Directors is a highly engaged group of folks within our community. But with the board, we do quite a bit of development work, and it's through the process. Many of the things that are in this program align to the processes that we do within the board, but then also taking a lot of Ken's expertise and having done this in other settings, and merging these things to pull together this such a comprehensive program. So components that you may be familiar with are our executive forum. It is easily our highest rated program each year, receiving very high net promoter scores or customer satisfaction scores. And then just the development process, as I mentioned, of volunteer leaders over the course of the lifetime of the organization. So this is we have many proven methods that are supporting this program. We also were able to pull from a few of the folks that have already signed up to participate in the program. What was it about the program that really attracted them to it? So we've got a few different people that were able to contribute to that. And I've highlighted just a couple of things within their, their testimony, if you will, with Bernie, who is with the higher education organization, saying that I believe this program will provide me with new innovative methods for collaboration, mentorship, inspiration, and the leadership strategies necessary to make future-ready decisions for our organization. And Chris, who is in the construction industry, highlighted here, it's curriculum tailored to foster strategic thinking and refine interpersonal skills, promises to provide emerging leaders with the essential tools for success in fast-paced environments. And then finally, Arul, who is also in the higher education industry, indicated that he's excited for this journey with a quality network of Oracle technology leaders and to glean from their insights to face the next era of technology transformation, which can make him and his organization future ready. So just what a few of the registrants are already saying. Again, we couldn't pull from everyone thus far, but some of the things that other interested participants are seeing and guiding their decision to register for the program. So we're going to talk a little bit about the program fees next. So as Ken mentioned earlier, early bird pricing goes through the end of this month, and you can see the normal rate compared to the early bird pricing listed in the program fees. So Quest corporate and professional members, the normal rate would be $6,000 for the program, with early bird pricing being $5,100 for the program. So you can see the customer non-member registration rate as well as Quest vendor members are also allowed and encouraged to place participants in the program as well. So we will have group registrations. Group registrations are available if companies wanted to put more than one person into the program. We do have one organization that has already placed more than one person in the program, but we are going to limit that to 5 individuals from the same company per cohort, just so that we can, make sure that we, if you need more than 5, then we probably ought to have a discussion about a custom training or a custom program for your company. And as far as what is included in the program fees are of course, your in-person and virtual programming. So obviously, all of those, the in-person event and the virtual programming that is going to occur, your course materials, the mentoring hours that you're going to receive, and some food and beverage and experiences that we will facilitate for you during, in particular, October's in-person meeting, as well as the graduation ceremony in June of 2025, as well as your executive forum registration for 2025. So all of those things are included in your program fees. And to put this program and its fees into perspective within our industry, there are other programs out there. Most of them are targeting people that want to become a CIO. And as Ken mentioned, our program is a little bit broader than that. It's more of developing people that are looking to move up within an organization, but maybe they're in a functional role, not just a technical role. Maybe they aspire to different roles other than just the CIO position or senior technology executive position. So that's one key differentiator. Another key differentiator for us is that the multidiscipline or multi-dimensional aspects of the program, as Ken mentioned. Most programs offer just one component of the number of components that we offer. So many are offering just the content or just the in-person meeting or just the mentoring, versus our approach is to try to do this from a very comprehensive perspective, but that's based on how we believe that people, how we believe people learn today. It is multidimensional. So we want to make sure that the program reflects that, those methods of learning. And then lastly, the program pricing. Our program is actually priced less than the other programs that we've seen in the market, and some programs are as expensive as $30,000 and more, and again for fewer dimensions within the program. So I just wanted to provide some context for you around the program and the program fees, so that you are able to, when evaluating this, if you are evaluating other programs, to have a more apples to apples comparison. So Ken, I think I turn it back over to you as we get ready to wrap things up.
Yeah. So if you are interested in participating, or if you want to put someone in your department in, here's a page right here where you can scan that QR code and go and apply for the program. All this information is on the Quest community website as well. And then John, next slide there, I think.
I think that was it.
That was it. All right. So wanted to open it up for questions, and so we can answer for everyone. You're free to type something in the chat boxes or Q&A box, or come off mute and ask a question. We do have a question in the chat box about will you be sending out the deck following this meeting? So John, Brett.
So yes, we will send out the deck to everyone following this meeting. So we will also, if we would be happy to, schedule time with you as an individual, if you would like to, go through any aspect of what we discussed today in more detail, and helping you evaluate the alignment between your professional development or your company's leadership development needs, and of course, comparing that to what the program will be able to offer. So we encourage you to if we can set some time up to discuss that, we'd be happy to do that. Any other questions that we have coming in from?
Nothing else in the chat yet, but anyone having? I know it's a lot of material that we went over, but hopefully we got some good questions. How many additional registrants are you looking for? John, I'll let you answer that.
Well, we will, as far as the number of additional registrants we're looking for, so we do want to make sure that we do have a minimum number of registrants we would like to have in order to facilitate a successful program, and we're very close to that number. But we would take as many as 10. Well, as Ken mentioned earlier in the program, we would take as many as 15 to 20 for this particular cohort. If we were to exceed that number, then we would consider starting a second cohort, or splitting the group up into two cohorts to maintain the integrity of the the quality of the program. And then there's another question that came in about the typical weekly commitment. Did we say that would be around 2 hours?
Yeah, I think it's about 2 to 3 hours a week, and it'll average out. There'll certainly be some weeks where it might be a little bit more based on what you're doing in your capstone project and some of the readings that you'll have. But I wouldn't think it'd be much more than that in any of the weeks. Which, again, trying to balance out your day job and working on continuing to strengthen those skills to help you do better at that day job, I think is extremely important. I think the commitment there, obviously different than the 2-day on-site leadership summit. I think that's about 2 to 3 hours on average would be a fair and reasonable expectation.
And I would add to that those hours, particularly with those virtual engagements, as well as the the networking activities, a significant portion of that will be self-paced. So it will be we'll be working with you to fit it into your schedule, or you can fit it in as you need to as well. So, we will provide you with content over the course of a week. We're asking you to engage with that content, but you kind of decide, within a 2-day window on when you want to engage with that piece of content, if that makes sense.
Yeah, good point, John. Other questions? Anyone? Bueller?
Yeah.
I always have to say that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be quiet. Shows my age for knowing that meeting, but hey.
I'm right there with you.
All right. Well, if there's no other questions, I'll say I'll let everyone know. Thank you very much for participating here and coming and spending some time with us on the information session. Obviously, if you do come up with another question later, please reach out to the Quest community. We'll get those questions answered for you. So hopefully you scan the QR code or just jump on the Quest community website and get to the emerging leaders section and take a look at the details there. And hopefully we'll get to see a whole bunch of you registered for the program. And in September, as we have our orientation, kick things off, and then October in Lexington. As I said, I'm excited for the program. I think it's a great new addition or expansion of work we've already done, as John described earlier, for the community as a whole. So very excited for the next chapter here and what's to come with this program.
Well, thank you, Ken, for leading today's session, and we will follow up with everyone to provide you with the recording of today's session. And of course, we'll make ourselves available to answer any questions you may have, or if you need assistance in developing your justification to participate in the program, we'll be happy to help. So we remain available to assist. So thank you, everyone, for attending. And like Ken said, we hope to see you in the program in the fall. Have a great day, everyone.